So here we'll look at factoring a perfect square. We've looked at some factoring before, so we know that if we're asked to factor this, it's going to end up looking like something like this with, in this case, it's going to be a V and a V. But what we want to recognize is this perfect square thing. So in this case, or in these cases, a perfect square is whenever there's a number k. So in other words, the number that goes here is the same, such that these two parentheses look the same. Because if they look the same, then we can just write them once with an exponent of 2. So if we just factor this like we are used to, well, we know that this plus means that the signs are the same, and they're always the same as that. So it's going to be a V minus and a V minus. And then 49, well, that's kind of nice. It's a perfect square, 7 times 7, and we know that they both of those terms combine to give 14, so it's a 7 and a 7. And since those two are the same, we can write that as a V minus 7 quantity squared. Whenever it can be written like that, it's called a perfect square. Okay, so that's what factoring a perfect square quadratic looks like. Let's look at another example or two. Here we've got x squared plus 8x plus 16. We notice that this is a perfect square, 16, and we check. What's the square root? 4. Does 4 and 4 make 8? Yes, it does. So therefore, we know we've got x plus 4 quantity squared. So again, you begin to see a pattern. If you were to go through this the old-fashioned way or the long way and say, oh, that's x and that's x, we have a plus sign, which means the signs are the same as this, which means a plus and a plus, and then 16. Well, that could be 2 and 8, but that doesn't give 8. It could be 16 and 1. That doesn't give it. 4 and 4. Hey, that works. And of course, those can be written. That can be written like this. So this is the better answer. Here's another example. In this case, we've got a plus here and a minus there, so that means it's going to be y minus 3 quantity squared. You can always check your answer, right? You can always double check by saying, oh, let's do a little thought bubble here. That's the same thing. Whoops. That's y minus 3 times y minus 3. Let's see if I can expand this thought bubble. Give me some more room. If we FOIL that, that's a y squared minus 3y minus 3y plus 9. Hey, that works. Y squared. This makes a negative 6y plus 9. Check. Short few seconds can make sure your answer's right, especially on a quiz or an assessment. Okay, have fun.